All right, now I need you guys to come on. Yes. Yes. Come on, you guys. I want you to get on because we're winning in here. Happy Hope Day. Sometimes you just got to get up and move. Move those cups off for your Wednesday. Come on now. I need you to like this. Yes, share. Yeah, we're winning in here. We're winning in here. Yes, we're winning in here. We're winning in here. Yes. That's from one of my favorite groups, Freedom Music Group. Now mostly collectively have their own solo projects and known with Holy Track Stars. But I love the idea of winning. I wanted to talk today on this Hope Day, because we don't do humps around here. Decency and respect in politics. Listen, I have no guests today. This is just me pontificating, and I won't be before you long because a lot of us got a lot to do. Because as many people know, the electoral process, particularly with mail-in ballots and different things and potential glitches, we're no longer just getting an immediate count after ballot or polls are closed, right? So officially 5 o'clock this morning here in Taylor County, Florida, we found out officially who won all of the particular precincts and districts. And my uncle Thomas Dibs, woohoo! District 5 was reelected to the Taylor County Commission. But that's not why I'm here. And that's not the that's not the only reason why I'm here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how proud I am of my renewed faith in decency and respect in politics. So, like I said, I'm not going to be here long, but if you want to go ahead and click, share, and like, and if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my hopeMORE channel. That's lowercase HOPE, uppercase MORE, because it only takes a little bit of hope to want more, to take another step, to have a more abundant life. So I'm going to get on here and share. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the bell so that you can be notified anytime that we're on. And I'm just really, really excited. I said me, or anybody that will be coming on the show. I laugh because my father often says we, us, when he's talking about him. And that has nothing to do with all the different gender identities. So we're going to share. Yes, because I want to talk about, on this Hope Day, decency and respect in politics. And it's not a lecture, if anything, it's kudos. It's kudos to my hometown and the model, I think, that gives me hope throughout the United States. Now, for those of you who have heard, I relocated from Atlanta, Georgia, back to my hometown, Perry, Florida, about 2.5 years ago. And in doing that, I've given a lot of props, and sometimes I give a little bit of grievances, because my town is a very American town. So we are a really great cross-section of what a lot of Americans are going through, good and bad. Well, last week I was very upset, as some of you may notice, that the mask emergency ordinance that was passed was voted down, or at least it didn't have the requisite votes to continue. Although we had just been ranked one of the number one hotspots, or the number one hotspot according to New York Times the week before. Now that vote is coming up again next week, and hopefully we'll be victorious. So I had a lot to say. Yes, a lot to say about how I wasn't seeing my neighbors, friends, and people about town wearing a mask. So you know what? I can celebrate as well as critique. Taylor County elections that are supervised by Dana Sutherland went very, very well. Not just the election day, but I understand we had probably more mail-in ballots than any other way of voting. We had way more mail-in ballots, and guess what? There's no detectable fraud that's happened. So I want to give great kudos to Dana Sutherland and the staff and the poll workers with early voting and yesterday voting. I think you did a great job. Now, as I talk about decency and respect in politics, I have to come to the point of which I was inspired to do and come on, even though I said I wasn't coming on this week because I'm trying to get ready for my first day of class with Emory Law School as a professor. But I had to come on because it meant this much to me. I thank every candidate for running a campaign that was full of decency and respect. When I say I was like floored to just think about how there's certain particular races that people are still working together. People are still having to deal with tomorrow that person they were running against in a classroom or in an office, or they may have the same church community, and they treated each other like we were all in one community. And I'm like, that could be a model for the United States. That could be a model for November. And it gave me great hope, because let me tell you, what we need are people excited about the platform and the change and the things that candidates want to do, not just heaping up ideas and ideologies that talk about how much you hate the opponent. Let me give you an example of what I felt was so decent. And I'm not just saying this because he's my uncle, but today on the Facebook page of Thomas Dempsey Sr., not only did he thank District 5 for voting for him, he congratulated his opponent for running a very well done campaign. And not only that did he do it publicly, and I hope I won't get in trouble with this, I never once heard him or any of my family members or supporters of Thomas Dempsey ever say anything negative about his opponent. What was out of their mouth? You know, we love Thomas. He's done such a great job. He was a great job as mayor and councilman years ago, and he's been doing great for the commission. That's what I heard. And I was like, okay, this is great. So yesterday, even late in the night when the numbers seemed to be almost solidly for my uncle, he still had this attitude like, okay, you know, there's 300-something mail-in ballots and we don't know the outcome. And I'm like, that humility, that decency, that respect. So it just inspired me so much to get on here and to give kudos. Not only did his particular response in his running the race in last night's election inspire me, but I have to tell you the truth. The superintendent of school elections inspired me. For those of you who know where I live, on both corners of my lot, I had a Danny Glover sign, who's our current superintendent of schools. His family knows my family. I've sat in some school board meetings. He's a FAMU graduate. My parents and family are from FAMU. I had seen where the scores at the school had been, the entire school system had improved their ratings, some to A, during his tenure. So I was like, why not support him? And we're in a COVID-19 pandemic, and there's so many changes. Should we change who's running the schools? So I was his supporter. I didn't know anything about Miss Blackshear, Alicia Blackshear. I didn't know anything about her. Well, what I did notice is that the people who talked about her talked well. She had testimonials, question and answers on her website. And if it was there, I didn't see it. I saw nothing negative exchanged between the two. And what's crazy is Miss Blackshear works in the school system that Danny Glover now reigns over, if you would. And right before, was it a month ago? It was came out in the newspaper that Danny Glover filled 4 positions and ended up promoting his opponent. She was promoted. Who does that? Particularly in today's society, it feels like people are punished. You're not supporting me. You're going against me. I'm not going to promote you. I'm going to demote you, get rid of you, your mama, and your daddy. And I just thought that was great. Not just sportsmanship, but apparently she was the best person for the job. And the race was very close. It was like 51% to 49%, a difference of 100 votes, guys. I believe it was a difference of less than 100 votes. That is such a great example of decency and respect. So I had to give it to her today. Like, lady, you did not lose, okay? You won, and I can't wait to see what else you do with the passion that you have. And congratulations to Danny Glover for another tenure. So why am I talking about this? And as you know, this is my media mission ministry, okay? We could go from church to politics, but why I wanted to bring this particular issue to the plate, and most of y'all, I really don't have to outline it. We are living in a time where decency and respect is just not often seen in politics, or we don't hear about it. Maybe someone says it's the media, maybe it's the candor of candidates, maybe it's our leadership from the top, maybe it's our people from the bottom, who knows? But what I do know, that God is a God of decency and order, and as Christians, I feel very strongly that we have to be a difference. If we're not any different, then why would anybody choose to worship the same God? Like, how is it that this God who says that you can't have bitter water and sweet or pure water out of the same fountain, in our politics would say, but yeah, you can have it there. And it's on blue, red, libertarians, independent. We all, including myself, can be guilty of it. And I'm a work in progress. So if you see a post tomorrow that seems to be antithetical to what I'm saying, stretch your hands out and pray for me, okay? But let's really quickly talk about decency. And this is what I was so excited about in Perry, Florida, what I saw. Decency, okay? Decency, I have scrolling the bottom, is a noun. And often the description is a behavior that conforms to accepted standards of morality or decorum. Often decency and respect is used interchangeably because it's usually based on a standard, an acceptable standard. And let me tell you, Perry, Florida, Taylor County, and the Democratic National Convention, Republican National Convention, do the Libertarians have one of those? Independents, y'all need to check out what we were doing down here and what we'll continue to do. Our acceptable standard hasn't changed. We still feel that people, although you are running against them, are not the devil and you're not a saint. We can have people say, like Ms. Blackshear did in her run for school superintendent, is that we can do better. Wow, do better? That is not disrespectful. That's her vision. Whatever she sees, she thinks she can take it to another place. And other people may find that problematic if she's saying that in a race that you're for the other opponent, but it is a statement that just projects what you plan to do, what your ideas are. They're better, not the only thing. They focus on what that candidate plans to do. And I thank God that I got to be here to see this, because I want our country to get back to decency and respect in politics. And I don't have a romanticized Pollyanna system or thought about politics. I know it can get rugged, but to say a candidate is the wrong candidate, the candidate is even a weak candidate or a strong candidate, that is not insulting. That is you projecting that you feel that your platform is better, okay? So what I was afraid about is that it seemed like we were just declining in decency, that the accepted standards of morality and decorum was being lowered. And if it looked anything like I saw yesterday in the last few weeks, then that's not the case throughout the United States. And we could be the leaders of that. So I'm speaking to my Taylor County people in particular, because we're stronger together. Let's talk about respect. And again, people can use this interchangeably. And with respect is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others. There's other definitions where respect has to be earned or it's your favorable looking. I'm not talking about that, because listen, there is no way, say, when it comes to politics, a pro-lifer and a pro-choicer are going to feel like they have high regard for the other people's thoughts or opinion, but you can give due regard to them. You can consider what Jesus said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So when you're debating with someone, or you feel like your position is better or stronger than someone, do you go in by insulting the person? Or do you go into the strength of your conviction and share, and then have other opportunities to support what you want to do? Why does it feel like I'm preaching? I'm not trying to preach. I'm actually hoping that this video, of all the videos I do, go viral, because what a difference we can make in our children's lives and the generations to come if we make it mandatory acceptable behavior to treat people with decency and respect in politics. You guys, we see in assemblies and parliaments and legislative bodies all over the world where they get into bitter brawls in the middle of speeches. Is that what we want? And God forbid, we don't want to boil down the emotions of the competition and turn into a country with civil war. I know we've gone through one civil war, but it's not unusual for countries to have more than one. Let's not be so prideful and arrogant to think that when people say things like people will take up arms to fight or to liberate a state, that those things for some minds is not being taken literal. So I think if we just tone the rhetoric down and the insults, we can have a more just nation and a clearer election. You guys listen. I am, like I said, I'm not Pollyanna about this whole thing. I'm literally just saying, God, I'm encouraged. You know, I can't think of the last time I was encouraged about what was going on when it came to politics. I'm very, very encouraged because we have not slid down the slippery slope of indecency and disrespect in our dialogue and disagreements. Listen, guys, you don't need an example from me, but I'll give you one big one that tore my heart up this weekend. President Donald Trump, and yes, he is all of our president, if you're American, his brother died this weekend. And apparently one of the number one trending topics was wrong Trump. Hashtag wrong Trump. Is that what we want to teach our children? Now, some people I know like, well, you know what? He disrespected so-and-so when he died and all these kind of things. You know what? Even if that was the case, which I don't see proof of it, he didn't go to the funeral, but I don't think John Lewis probably cared about him going to the funeral. I don't care if he was. Why is it as Christians will we do that? Why would we do that? And then I'm not going to mention by name to find out that a prominent clergyman was one of the people who told the Grim Reaper they got the wrong person. I'm like, Lord, we're no different. And then we wonder why you're not healing our land. Let me tell you another one. I understand in Virginia, a politician, in commenting on the new Democratic nominee and vice presidential nominee, said, Joe and Aunt Jemima, really? Really? Is that what we're doing still in 2020? Really? Is that what we're doing? It is exasperating. It is exasperating. And that's why it's so important that when we see good, we say good. Not just when we see trouble, we get in necessary trouble, which is a theme that I am exploring as I look at my fall program lineup. But it's also when we see good, let's say good. Let's congratulate, debate opponents who are respectful and even say your idea is wrong, this plan is wrong, people are being affected. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to Pollyanna your points and positions, but you don't have to call people names. You don't have to act in a way that if you were in a kindergarten class, you'll be told to go sit in the corner. We should do better. And this ain't for everybody. But if you name the name of Christ, come close. You need to do better. You need to ask God to help you tame the mouth. Remember, the mouth and the heart deals with deception and wicked. We don't even often know. So get in the mirror before you speak, before you post, before you clap back, and just say, God, am I honoring you in this? And again, disagreement is fine. And behind me, I have images of Taylor County that I keep on my walls in my office because I'm often one to see and look and be reminded that we're all one community. We're all one community. So maybe for you, it's the flag or the map of the United States or your children, but we need to be reminded we're all in the same boat. So we shouldn't torpedo the bows of it in order to be victorious as we're all sinking down. This is Hope Dims. Happy Hope Day. We don't do humps around here. Happy election cycle. I'm so excited about November 3rd. I'm so excited about November 3rd. And by just way of quick announcement, I've started a voting clinic, particularly for ex-felons who are re-entered into the community and are looking to regain their rights to vote. Come on now, let's get these registrations as well as whatever we have to do to pursue resolution to your situation so you can vote. But I'm opening up my voter rights clinic not just for ex-felons. If you've changed registration or you relocated, or maybe you're older and you just don't understand the process, or you're tired and like, I know I need to do something different because I moved, or I need to check my signature card, or maybe change it because I'm gonna do mail-in ballot and I don't want anything to be unqualified or ineligible, or I just don't understand the system. Voter Rights Clinic is going to be for you. Hope Law Voter Rights Clinic. So be listening out. Again, we're going to probably have to do a Zoom or a remote type of way of helping and getting together so to make sure you understand your rights. And if you need to register, just period, please inbox me at hopeMORE. Those of you who know my number, it is 850-544-9578. That's 850-544-9578. Or you can go to 247hope@gmail.com. That's 247hope@gmail.com. You guys have a wonderful Hope Day. We are not just getting over a hump. We are literally being propelled into the future, and I am so glad for it. God bless you. I love you and I mean it.